This series is giving you a behind the scenes look of how I create my Notion templates and how I designed my brand new goal setting system in the form of a life reset. This reset is by far the most straightforward and actionable way to not only work out what your goals should be, but then also achieve them in a way that feels good. So grab a notebook and let's jump into where we left off in part 1. Oh yes, that's the other thing. I wanted to, all this stuff down here, how does this fit in? Yeah. It needs to go here. First, you look forward. So without looking back, you look forward and you say, what do I envisage for, 1 year down the road? If you're constantly trying to just improve on what you've done in the past, sure, that is great and you will improve. But sometimes we feel trapped in comparing ourselves, we can't even see. I think I tried to explain this in my last video and I couldn't explain it either. It's really hard to word, but basically you have where you're at now. If you're looking at that, if you're looking at the future through that lens, you might not see your potential. So if you've always been someone that, for example, hates exercise, great example. Everyone, I feel like a lot of people can relate. I grew up coming second last in my whole school's cross country. So out of all of school, I'm second last. That's how great at running I am, or was, I should say. Because about 6-7 years ago, I started doing park runs and within a month, I was running a 5K, which little me would have thought is bonkers. So if I had done this vision at the start of the year before I'd even started park runs, and I was looking at it through the lens of little me and the beliefs that I have around exercise and my abilities, I would never have thought it was possible to run a 5K. That's not something I thought would have been possible. It's really important to not hold yourself to your past self and limit yourself with only improving from where you are, if that makes sense. Even though you are going to, it's so hard to explain. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. But basically, we think about the future first before we look back and reflect on the past. I could have just left it at that, but I'm trying to make it complicated for you guys. All right, so let's just move this. So now we're gonna reflect. Oh, we need an icon. Let's make it a flower. Yes, sunflower. Cute. Okay, increase, decrease. Okay. We moved this whole section from the previous reset because, you've got your vision and your 3 priorities. Yes. But this reflection stuff can, okay, that's what I was gonna say. There wasn't, apart from your vision is very general, there's not that much guiding what your priorities are. It was write a vision. Okay, so you in a year's time, and then what are your 3 priorities? It's you go straight into it. You just gotta think of priorities. And so this reflection of your wins and the problems you're facing, these kinds of things are probably going to help guide what your priorities are going to be. So obviously you can't just base your priorities on your top problem that you're facing, even though that might be one of your priorities. You got to keep your vision in mind. But if your vision is that you're happy and laughing and energetic all the time, and then you've got a big problem that you're facing that's draining you of energy and making you feel miserable, that would be a priority to then help you make your vision come to life. Totally makes sense. So I think this part is what was missing. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to include. How you want to, yeah. One of my other epiphanies. Basically, I want it to be your vision is how you want to feel, what you want to be doing, and who you want to be, I guess, sort of thing. So yeah, how you want to feel is super important. You can't just be my vision is I have published a book. 'Cause that's a great goal. But how do you want to be, how do you want to feel? And when I say what do you want to be doing, day to day, great, you've published a book. What does that look like in your life now? What does your life look like having published a book? Does that mean you're working on another book? Like, are you writing every day, or are you going on a book tour? Are you writing lots of blog posts? Like, what are you spending your time doing? Because it's easy to think, you know, I want to be an author, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be whatever it is that you're aiming for. But like, what does that actually look like day to day? And is that something that you're wanting to do? Like, really thinking about and like giving it proper thought, because sometimes we like set this goal. Sometimes we're not happy with where we are, and we start setting goals just in order to get us out of where we are. And that is totally fine if you are conscious of it. If you're conscious of the fact that you're choosing a stepping stone to get you from where you are to a middle ground to then step again and into something that you're wanting to do, great. But like, try not to make your stepping stone, you know, 5 years down the track, like, you know, doing something like doing a whole uni degree in order to get a job in something that you might not even really want to do the day-to-day work of. It's kind of like a whole nother thing, but basically thinking about the day-to-day of how you want to be spending your time and whether or not your vision aligns with like what you actually want to be spending your time doing. And then who you want to be, like habits, personality traits, mindset shifts, you know, all of that kind of stuff, I feel like is really important and sometimes gets missed when we're thinking about goal setting. We don't think about like the psychological side of it. I'm going to just go through my notes and make sure I've like got everything that I wanted, and then we're going to like build from there. So we merged the problem hierarchy. We merged wins, great. Oh yeah, with the vision, it's like, I am sentences. It's, you know, we're thinking as if we are already that thing. You know, I am full of energy and, you know, feeling motivated all the time. I am laughing uncontrollably, you know, whatever it is that your vision is for yourself. Right, when you're writing your vision, you're writing it as if I am, and you're making that vision as visual as possible, is the key. So what do you want to have accomplished? Oh yeah, that was the other thing. The thing that like everyone thinks of. What do you want to have accomplished? Which is also important. Like, obviously, you know, well, not obviously, but like all of these things are important, but we can't just focus on this. You know, we can't just do that project we're wanting to do. It's also important to be feeling the way we want to feel and spending time doing what we want to do and be the person we want to be, but also accomplish the things we want to accomplish. So yes, I think those 4 questions. Tears are coming to my eyes again because I am so, it's like, it's pride, which like, it sounds funny. Not funny, but like, I don't feel like I did that much in order to do this, but obviously it's the culmination of years of working on this stuff that's just like clicked into place. Feels so good. Okay, so we've got vision first, reflect second, which is that stuff which I've done, amazing, and then I need to set this out better because I'm not happy with how it's looking, but that's fine for now. And then priorities, what top 3 priorities you want to focus on in order to make your vision come to life. Perfect. And then actions. So I was trying to like merge my 2 resets that I've got. So this reset is based on my old format. And when I say old, like last year, this is the balance reset, or like, I heard a really good phrase the other day that fit with this. What was it? Like clarifying, like life clarifying. And then the other reset, which I have not shared before. Well, technically I have shared it because it was the previous presentation, the New Year life reset at the start of this year that I posted, but it's changed a bit since then, and also obviously it's going to change again because we're making changes now. But this, I wanted to just like pull anything from this because yeah, I feel like this part, brainstorming experiments, it's all about like, would a scientist judge the chemicals if the reaction they hypothesized didn't happen? Like, it's all about using the metaphor, it's not even a metaphor really, of like scientists' experiments and how you get curious and you set a hypothesis, but you hold that hypothesis lightly, and that you don't say that the outcome should happen. It's that you're thinking this is going to happen, but you're just going to see, like curiosity, like just having a curiosity mindset. Super important. I don't know what to like pull from this because there's a lot here and I don't want there to be too much like in the, yeah. Okay, so let's paste that and then remove the duplicates. So what have we gotten already? it's just like the only thing that is bad about all these epiphanies that I've had is that we literally just reset. And I just wish that we'd used like this new reset template because it's so much better, but that's okay. All right, so, and maybe like you're like, I don't really see that much of a difference, but like, oh, I just feel like there's a huge difference in like the way that this is set out. Maybe, oh, this is a lot, but I feel like it's important. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think I should have a brainstorm section. Brainstorm. So then after that, I would just have like, and then the list. This part is a mess and I don't like it and I don't know how to fix it. So let's just like, I just want to work on this. Okay, I've got a lot of text. Maybe, I'll come back to that in a second. I just had an idea. All right, I just want to quickly make like the check-ins. Quarter one check-in. Actually, we'll just make one and then we'll duplicate them later. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it. I just wanted to have the heading there for when I know. Okay, I don't know how to. Okay, so reflection. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just like staring at it. I just feel like this is so much text, but it's all really helpful. See, this is the problem with this reset because it creates so many actions. Like so, okay, you list like, let's say you list 30 wins and then you start writing like how you can increase these wins. Like that's a lot of actions to take and we haven't even got to our priorities yet. Like that doesn't make sense. So I think we just need to list our wins. Oh, I don't know. I just don't want this part to distract from the priorities because like the whole point of this system is that you have 3 priorities because we have so many things to think about and so many things we could be doing. And if we list 30 different wins in all these different areas of our life and we start, you know, finding ways to increase those things in our life, it's like we have enough time to do it all, but we don't have the like ability to like focus on and prioritize like the priorities. I don't know. Okay, let me just. Epiphany debunked a tiny bit, but don't worry because there were like 6 other epiphanies, so it's okay. But like, and I definitely still think these 2 things can be merged if that's what we're doing for the reset. But I'm not sure. Because like, okay, even if we get rid of that question and we just say, what has brought you the most positivity in your life, list your wins. And then what has brought you the most negativity in your life, list your problems. Oh, but that could inform what our priorities are. Like maybe, okay, like let's just like, do I even have like wins and stuff in here maybe? Oh yeah, here, like watching funny videos, playing mini games, catching up with my sisters. Like those were like some of the positives / wins from a previous reset. And like, if I acknowledge that up here and maybe like my vision is that like I'm really happy or whatever, you know, like if my vision is like I'm laughing all the time, for example, and then in my wins I list catching up with my sisters is one of the things that brought me heaps of positivity. That means that when I'm brainstorming my priorities, I'm looking at my wins and I'm looking at my problems. Like maybe one of my problems is that I'm so busy that I don't have time to catch up with people. Then a priority would be making time to catch up with my family and my friends because it brings me positivity. Okay, no. Okay, I think that's the thing. You've got to kind of fill it out to see how it's going to work. Okay, so now that's making sense, but I don't think I need to like do the like how am I going to increase this? No. We're not doing that. We're listing our wins to inform our priorities, and then we're going to write the actions. Like how do we increase this? That happens later. Okay, crisis averted, I fixed it. Just have to think it through sometimes, you know? Okay, so looking at your wins, are there things that you could increase to, like, I want to say you can't, it's not just like what other things you can increase. It's like, are there things that you can increase that like are relevant to your vision? I feel like that wording is like really not great, but like that's fine. Like maybe reflecting on your wins and then looking at your problem hierarchy. Will solving any of these problems lead to your vision? The wording of those two is not great, but the gist is there. So basically, if we look at these, they'll be front of mind anyway. I don't want them to be too, now that you've got a clear vision of the outcomes you're wanting in your vision, you've got a clear vision of the outcomes in your vision. Cool, so this section still looks messy and maybe it's like all these lines. We're not taking action. It's all very helpful, but we're not going to use it in this section. Okay, I feel like that's looking more okay, we're going to remove smaller problems because they're obviously going to be listed above, and we're just going to say from the list above, pull out your top 3 problems that you've been facing. Okay, this section, very empty. Let's keep looking through our notes to double check that I've got everything I wanted. Okay, let's go to my other reset. Which one? Action plan. Here you are. Hello. Copy. Paste. But see, this is where I had like the like very vague, you know, you could do it this way, you could do it that way, but when we're not doing that, it's either a once-off task, which is a to-do box, a routine, or a project. Maybe projects can be like 1, 2, 3. And like, if you are filling out this reset and you're like, think of a 4th category, just create it. Like, just write it in here, 4th category. Like, you know, this isn't supposed to be a box that you have to fit into. This is trying to be like more of a template that you can, you know, tweak and change to suit you. I'm just trying to give some kind of structure because I feel like that's what's been missing. So, okay, so how to categorize your actions. You either have a once-off task, maybe I'll put an example, e.g. if one of your priorities is going to be, you know, creating something and your craft table is really messy, maybe one of your tasks is going to be to just clean off your craft table. Simple. And then if an action takes more than 1 step, this can be listed as a project. Anything that can be broken down into multiple steps. And then the other category is routines. This is an action that you will repeat. I feel like it's really important, and I might make a video of this or include it in a video eventually, but like I feel like it's an important distinction to make between a routine and a habit. We often say habit, and like I do it all the time. I was just doing it about, I did a video about my movement trigger toolkit, and I was talking about an exercise habit, but I feel like it's a routine. A habit is something that you do like automatically, like kind of without thinking. And yes, some routines become habits, but I feel like, especially with exercise, especially for me, it's always something that I have to think about. Like it's always something that I have to actively and intentionally plan. It doesn't just happen. Brushing my teeth just happens because that has become, you know, a habit that I do. I just feel like a lot of the times we say habit, but we really mean routine, because, and the important distinction is that it isn't automatic and you do have to intentionally choose to do that thing. And that in itself is an important thing to remember. Just something to think about. Okay, I don't know if this is the case, but I feel like if something is going to take you more than a day to do, like, okay, more than a weekend to do, right? So like it's a step that's going to take you more than a weekend to do, that can surely that can be broken down into multiple steps. Because if it's taking you more than 2 days, that sounds to me like it's more of a project. Like, for example, editing my book, it's like, it could be considered one step in like the grand scheme of like writing my book and publishing and marketing and like all the stuff that's involved. Like technically you can break it down into like reading the book, rewriting sentences, proofreading, revising, you know, character arcs. Like there's lots of ways you can break it down. And I feel like it's really important to recognize when something is like a task that you have like as a to-do that you tick, and when something is a project that has to-dos underneath it that you can tick off, but it's not just like on your to-do list, like edit book, because like that is a surefire way to procrastinate / feel demotivated when you have that thing on your list forever, like for months, and you can't tick it off. Whereas if you had, you know, revise the character arc in chapter 2, that could be doable, you know, in a day or whatever. And then we have, routine second. So this is an action that you will repeat, e.g. going for a run every Monday morning. So it's not just like a once off, it's something that you need to build into a routine. And then there's projects. Just makes me so happy. I feel like I've known all of these things, but like this system is like bringing it all together. Oh my God, it's 5 o'clock. How long have I been doing this? I'm like, oh, I'm starting to get really tired. I'm starting to get hungry. Like maybe I should have a break. And it's like nearly dinner time. What? Oh my goodness. Okay. It just shows how much I love doing this because I get into a flow state. I haven't even like eaten. All right, I feel like the thing, okay, I need to, I'm getting tired and hungry. I think I need a break, but I might come back to it after I've had some dinner. But for now, we've got reminders, we've got my vision, reflection, increasing wins, decreasing problems, creating what's missing, and then brainstorming priorities, setting priorities, and now we're onto like our action plan, which is for priority 1, the actions we're going to take, once-off tasks, routines, and projects, and then we are yet to fill in the obstacles portion. And then I need to somehow work in like the whole experiment mindset into this because I feel like that was really important, and maybe it's mainly part of the check-in part. Like I'll have to note it in the action plan part, but also a lot of it is going to be like when we're checking in. But it can't just be like Q1 check-in. Like we also have to do like daily, weekly, monthly check-ins too. So I'm going to come back to this, but it's definitely taking shape and I'm really excited about the changes that I've been making. So see you in a moment. Okay, so I'm back. I've had some dinner. I'm feeling a bit refreshed, got a bit of energy. I just sat on the couch for a little bit and had a rest. I have been filming this for 2.5 hours. Clearly I was in the flow state doing this reset, and I was umming and ahhing whether to come back and finish this off now or later, but I'm actually going away for the weekend and I won't have time to do this until like next week, and I really want to do it while it's all fresh in my mind. So I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible now. I'm going to try and speed run it before I need to pack for tomorrow. So let's just get straight into it. I'm going to keep reading my notes. I don't think I got all the way through, and I just want to make sure I capture everything. That's right, I was up to this part. Because actions are the things we're going to do and experiments are the things we're going to try. No time to get my spelling right. We're in a hurry. Whatever, I'll fix it later. Okay. This is what it's like when I actually work at top speed. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to do a video soon about how we estimate time, because humans are very bad at estimating time. And it's mainly going to be about how we overestimate how long like things like chores and stuff takes. But the flip side of that is we underestimate how long projects take. And a good rule of thumb is when you have a project and you estimate how long it's going to take, double it. And that's probably more accurate because, you know, we take a lot of breaks, things come up, problems happen. For example, me doing this reset, I don't know how long I thought it was going to take. I mean, a few hours, yeah, but like I'm not finished yet and I was already like 2.5 hours in. So, yeah, I feel like making sure that you double your estimates is a really good practice. Okay, so we've got obstacles, which we have nothing. It's really just like, what obstacles are you likely to face? I feel like the obstacles are mainly for the routines, I guess, and the projects. You can think about all of them, like you can think about your once-off tasks too, but once-off tasks are less likely to have obstacles. I don't know if there's like categories to consider. Like obstacles can be anything, but maybe people like don't know. I might just put like mindsets. How do I say like other people without it sounding bad? I'll just say other people for now. Other people's needs, other people. Obligations. I don't know the word for just like forgetting or like being demotivated, like, you know, I'll fix that later. What the obstacle is, and then you list how can you overcome this obstacle. Yet another epiphany that I had was that when you're writing down your obstacles and you're writing down how you're going to overcome them, it's in two forms. Either it's reactive, like it has to be reactive, as in, I'll give some examples. So some of my obstacles, actually, I wrote them in my, oh, that's where I might have put my notes. I did. Okay, I found my notes. All right, so for my like exercise priority, one of them is waking up late, and that is a reactionary. So how I'm going to overcome that, how do I explain this? So like that obstacle of like, I may wake up late and therefore not exercise. And it's like, what am I going to do about it? I'm then having to react in the moment. So it's a reactive solution to an obstacle. Whereas if I go to one of my other priorities, one of the obstacles I've got is falling back into my unhelpful coping mechanisms of like eating food and scrolling for like emotional regulation. And a preventative thing that I can do is to like leave notes in the places where I go for those coping mechanisms. So I keep all of my chocolates in a box in my office, and just having a note on there reminding me of the other things that I can do that aren't just having chocolate to try and emotionally regulate is an example of like a preventative solution to an obstacle that I may face in pursuit of my, I forgot the word because I thought of pursuit so quickly and I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly the word I wanted. And I was so excited that I forgot the word priority. In the pursuit of my priority. So yeah, it's important to acknowledge whether it's reactive or preventative, because preventative ones are usually a one-off action you can do, or maybe a project, depending on, you know, what the solution is. So you can paste them into your like actions toggle, whereas like a reactive solution needs to be sort of built into your routines, or, you know, somehow you got to work out a way that when you face that obstacle, you know what to do. It's easy to think that you will when you're making this action plan, but, you know, 2 months down the track, how are you going to remember, you know, all of the things that you've written in here, especially trying to juggle 3 priorities, every other thing else that you're trying to juggle in your life? It's unlikely. So yeah, making sure that you're coming back to these obstacles really frequently is going to be part of it. So having weekly, ideally, check-ins and just like reading over, you know, the obstacles and maybe even reflecting like, Have I faced any of these obstacles yet? Are there other obstacles that have popped up? We'll get to that. But the important thing is note next to, I think I might have this as a section within each priority. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, I think it makes the most sense to have like, you open up your priority and you have your actions and then you have your obstacles. Yeah, experiments. Okay, I need to make a note of this. All right, and then I think I might copy I have an explanation of, yeah. Oh, here's the list. I was looking for that. See how I just had might? That is not the language I want to be using. It's not actions we might take, it's actions we will take. And if we don't take them, that's okay, but reflect on that, but we're not wanting to introduce the possibility of not doing these things into our mind. Okay, so this section is for brainstorming what actions you will take and experiments you will try to help with your priorities and ultimately get to your desired outcome, your vision. Perfect. That's right. It's not just what you're gonna do. Where were we? Obstacles. Oh yeah, that's right. I realized like an important thing to ask yourself is when you're adding an action into your action plan or like a project, what is the desired outcome? Because you might have a project in here and then you complete that project and you could say it's done, but like, did you get the desired outcome from that project? Like, was the idea, like for example, if I create a new process for my social media, the desired outcome for doing that is feeling good about my social media process, feeling organized and clear and, understanding where I'm at all times. Like that's the desired outcome. But if I create a system and I go, tick, I created a system, but like I'm actually not feeling clear and I'm not feeling good about it and it's actually stressing me out, I can't really tick that off if it's not, I didn't get the desired outcome. And that's where the experimental mindset or the experimenter mindset comes in, of like understanding that, I tried something, it didn't work, tweaking it, reflecting on it, and then like trying again and trying something slightly different. So yeah, I think having the subtasks and then like also, how do I, yeah, I think that's an important question. Maybe more so for a project. I don't know if one-off tasks needs it necessarily. I think I'll stick it to projects and then, if that changes and people can get the idea that they could do that and they could do it for their other ones too. And then I need to go on to the hard part, which I'm not like 100% sure to do, which is the check-ins. Like I know once I've like done it, I haven't like had a whole lot of, epiphanies like I have with the actual reset. I think this is the part that is really hard to do when you haven't actually created an action plan. Because in the past, when we've done these resets, we don't really come out with like a full-on, like this action plan here is so like, it's so tangible. Did you do these once-off tasks? These are the projects you wanted to work on. Did you work on them? What did you get done in them? Did they change? Your routines are a little bit more like, obviously like, it's hard to know whether like how much you ran or how much you, I don't know, depending on whatever your routine is that you're wanting to do, kept your house clean. You can kind of get a gist, and hopefully if you're doing weekly resets, which I'll hopefully include in this whole situation, you'll have these front of mind and you'll be able to maybe write a one-line sentence of like, you know what, I haven't been cleaning, this was the obstacle I was facing. Like that could probably be like the weekly reset. I think it's really coming along and I feel like it's going to be really tangible, a really tangible way of resetting and planning and goal setting. Like this is really like goal setting without using the word goal. That's pretty much what this is. What do I want my life to look like? How am I going to get there? This is how I'm going to get there. I'm breaking it down into 3 priorities. and I'm getting stuff done. I'm you know, doing my projects, I'm doing my once-off actions, I'm setting, you know, I'm getting my routines in order. I'm making sure I find solutions to obstacles that I'm facing, and I'm checking in regularly. Amazing. All right, I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna come back after the long weekend and see if we can finish this off and have like a finalized template that I can actually share with you guys, which I'm so excited about. So I hope you liked this video. I know it was a long one and there was a lot to it, but I hope you got a lot out of it and enjoyed the process of me building this new reset. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.